Alright, my name is Eric Stewart. I'm with Co-Green Community, and I'm interviewing Mary, Queen of Recycling. Mary, could you tell me a little bit more about you yourself and what you do here at the Seminole Community Library?
Well, I'm hosting presently a discussion group meeting that meets once a month. We generally meet the first Monday of the month. We meet in one of the program rooms. We meet from 10 a.m. until noon. And my path in relation to the topics that I'm studying, and I've been studying since 2007, I was first studying about recycling, and now I'm studying about sustainability. And I made 2 visits to the City Council, Seminole City Council, and gave them a 3-page, single-space type list of things that I wanted to recommend to them to be doing in terms of making the city become as sustainable as possible. I was supposed to speak for 3 minutes at this general meeting. I think I spoke for 5 until they pulled me off. The city, I think, is expanding its sustainability efforts. Case in point, they have just recently, within this last 6 months, opened up a public works department and an emergency occupation center, all of which have been designed to meet LEED standards for sustainability.
Great.
And it really is a model to other cities, both in Florida and in other states and worldwide. So in my viewpoint, they are going towards sustainable efforts, but they don't encourage the people, I feel, is enough in terms of doing recycling. They have curbside recycling available for the citizens, but they really don't publicize it very much. Where I live, it's a complex that's made up half of condo buildings and half of townhomes. The townhomes have curbside recycling. The condos have 0, nothing. And yet they have the Queen of Recycling living in one of the condos. Their answer at the condo where I live is that we should take our recycled materials to one of the drop-off centers for the county, which I will do, but I question how many residents will do that. So after going to the city, I then realized that I needed to do something to get some of this information to the citizens of Seminole.
Yeah.
Get us to work together to try to work to influence the city to become green in its plans, its long-range plans, and also the county of Pinellas.
Yeah.
So the discussion group kind of came out of that.
Now you shared with me your passion and why you do this. I was wondering if you could share your passion to a wider audience.
Well, I'm a retired educator, and I think although I've retired from teaching, I'm not yet a retired teacher. I'm still teaching. I go out, and as you had mentioned earlier today to me personally, you had said that you go to the Great American Teach-In each year, trying to teach the youngsters about methods of healthy gardening. I go each year, during the 3 years that I've been so far, to a local elementary school, and I teach the children about recycling. When I was a teacher in New York, I established a paper recycle drive for the school in which I taught. The school had 1,200 children in it, grades 7 through 12. It was a 3-floor building, and got everyone in the school involved in paper recycling. That was in the 80s, and I still get literature from that New York State school and that New York State city. They have upgraded what they're doing in the schools and giving the schools a lot of credit and a lot of support and a lot of help.
Yeah.
I didn't have any help or support or acknowledgement back then.
Well, when I was studying about recycling, I think one of the highest standards is probably like San Francisco. I think they're pushing almost 90% of all of their materials recycled. What are some of your goals for Seminole?
Well, I just would like to see people participate. What I've learned by studying about recycling, I've learned that by recycling things, I end up throwing out a lot less. I have very little garbage that I throw out.
Well, we were interrupted and we changed venues, and we're going to restart with, why are you passionate about what you're doing and what goals do you have with the Seminole City?
Well, the city of Seminole, I think, is increasing its efforts in relation to sustainability. I encourage them as a private citizen, I encourage them to speak to neighboring cities who seem to be a bit ahead of the city of Seminole in their efforts.
Yeah.
I think we need to share our successes.
Definitely.
I'd like to see Pinellas County establish a sustainability management resolution, similar to what the city of Sarasota did in the 1990s. So
Wow.
they're way ahead of us. I think we need to develop a sustainability resolution in each one of the cities as soon as possible. My personal passion includes my little granddaughters. This is Harper, and this is her new sister, Bailey. And naturally, I want a healthy environment for my two beautiful granddaughters to grow up in. I've been encouraging that son of mine, Michael, to consider at some point in time doing a little garden on their own property.
Yeah.
To teach the girls about how to garden, make things grow in a healthy fashion, to give them healthy food. I just get a little bit concerned. I've really not been a gardener, and I get a little bit concerned about the children because I think sometimes when you teach them something, they can take it out of context, and I don't want them going around grabbing greens from anywhere and thinking it's safe to eat. That's my only initial concern about teaching them about getting involved with gardening. I presently was named a member of the City of Seminole Tree Advisory Committee. The Tree Advisory Committee, unfortunately, right now is only made up of 3 people. And I think soon, this next month, we will have 2 new members join us. And the city manager, the City of Seminole, seems to be on board in terms of realizing that sustainability and the long-term planning is something that's needed. So there is intent that the Tree Advisory Committee will blend into a sustainable committee, hopefully within this next calendar year of 2011. That is great. The county has not yet made decisions in relation to recycling. It seems that they keep getting close to making decisions about wanting to provide curbside recycling for citizens, and then they draw back. So I don't know if they draw back because of the fact that they're expecting greater numbers of people to move here, and maybe they're thinking that if they put this in place now, they may in fact not be able to continue to afford to do that. So I can't really speak naturally on behalf of the county, but it's a shame that the county can't put something in place and start doing more publicity.
Oh, I agree.
The schools are doing more.
Oh, yeah.
Pinellas County School District has an energy coach, Mr. Wayne Hefty. And Wayne and the people, his work colleagues, they have developed a beautiful program for helping schools evaluate their sustainability efforts and to help the school district evaluate the amount of money that's being spent on utilities. And they do various efforts like making sure that certain air filters get cleaned out on a regular basis that can really lower the utility costs. Well, they've created a whole, what I want to call a curriculum guide for schools to use to evaluate their progress in becoming more sustainable. That guide will probably become a national model for this country.
That's fantastic.
So there are great things going on, but I'm not sure yet how many people know about them.
Well, from what I understand, I've been going around Tampa Bay area, and there's little pockets of people all over working on similar issues, and it's just about connecting it all together into a big picture. And we have something to dream for, you know. What are we dreaming for the next generation, for your babies and for my family's babies? That's really the key, is what are we building for them? Because that's just my take on the whole situation.
This discussion group just had a guest speaker today to teach all of us who attended this discussion group about the necessity for us to start eating food that is not being mass-produced with so many unnecessary chemicals being used to them. That is a really important lesson. And unfortunately, we only had about 15 people there. Hopefully, each of the 15 people will now go back in their own life and share this word among their neighbors and their relatives, their friends. It's an important message. it's really scary to me what's in our food and what it's doing to our health, not of a positive nature.
When I learned about it, and she explained it in the discussion, is most of our system of food right now came from the military-industrial complex after World War II. And it was all an attempt to keep people employed. And so for me personally, I've been coming to this understanding that what we really need to do is employ people to provide healthy food for everyone. And if we can do that, our unemployment rate will drop. We'll just naturally use less materials and resources. And it's all about that conscious choice. And so I think what you're doing is wonderful, just getting that knowledge out to people. Thank you very much.
Oh, you're welcome. I think in terms of creating jobs, we can see that there would be need for a job of a person to teach people how to grow food for themselves in a far superior manner to give us a healthy food supply.
Oh, yeah.
And I personally think we need to do some examination of what large food companies are doing. It seems to me, and I've only learned about this within this last year, but we have food giants who have gotten access to having patents on seeds. I don't understand, as a citizen of the United States, I don't understand why that type of patent has been given to one company to become so forceful in controlling our food supply. If it were up to me, I would rescind the patents that this company or these companies have been given.
I mean, when what companies start to own our food supply, that's dangerous because it's too much power and it's too, what's the word I'm looking for? Too controlling,
Very controlling.
So we need to take the power back.
Absolutely.
Start growing in our own backyards. In World War II, during the Depression era, we had that Victory Garden movement. 40% of all of our fruits and vegetables came out of our backyards and our front yards. I really think we can do it.
We need to go back. We shouldn't be throwing out ideas that are so productive and that are so healthy and that work. We need to absolutely go back to the Victory Garden. Absolutely. I know that there are some educators who are working on this with their youngsters, but I give them a lot of credit because to work on a garden and then get on with your other teaching responsibilities, it's very taxing during the day, I would imagine, to do that work. But I totally applaud the work that they're doing, teaching these youngsters.
Well, I have a friend, she's in college down in Florida, Gulf Coast college down there, and she says that they actually are required to take a class. And this class, it's a colloquial class. They go out and they're required to volunteer at organic gardens, organic farms, and they learn what is the issues. You know, why do we want to shift to organic? And they learn it all. And it's in one class, and it affects a whole generation. And I think that's what we really need, is a class devoted just to gardening and learning a lifestyle that we need to move towards.
Absolutely. That's a wonderful idea.
Well, thank you very much, Mary, for this interview, and thank you for doing the discussion groups and everything that you do.
And the work that you do as well. I know I learn about a lot in relation to what other groups are doing because of the work that you've posted on the internet. So I thank you and your passion also that you have to try to help educate all of us. You're doing a fine job.
Well, thank you. Well, this is Eric Stewart from Co Green Community, and Mary, the Queen of Recycling. Thank you, Mary.
You're welcome.
Alright, my name is Eric Stewart. I'm with Co Green Community, and I'm interviewing Mary, Queen of Recycling. Mary, could you tell me a little bit more about yourself and what you do here at the Seminole Community Library?
Well, I'm hosting presently a discussion group meeting that meets once a month. We generally meet the first Monday of the month. We meet in one of the program rooms. We meet from 10 a.m. until noon. And my path in relation to the topics that I'm studying, and I've been studying since 2007, I was first studying about recycling, and now I'm studying about sustainability. And I made 2 visits to the City Council, Seminole City Council, and gave them going towards sustainable efforts, but they don't encourage the people, I feel, as enough in terms of doing recycling. They have curbside recycling available for the citizens, but they really don't publicize it very much. Where I live, it's a complex that's made up half of condo buildings and half of townhomes. The townhomes have curbside recycling. The case in point, they have just recently, within this last 6 months, opened up a public works department and an emergency occupation center, all of which have been designed to meet LEED standards for sustainability.
Great.
And it really is a model to other cities, both in Florida and in other states and worldwide. So in my viewpoint, they a 3-page, single-space type list of things that I wanted to recommend to them to be doing in terms of making the city become as sustainable as possible. I was supposed to speak for 3 minutes at this general meeting. I think I spoke for 5 until they pulled me off. The city, I think, is expanding its sustainability efforts